mes amis. Hi guys. Once again, Simon is back for another Simon Says. And once again, we're going to talk about Grand Seiko. On my wrist, I have my Shunbun, and on his wrist is another Grand Seiko, brand new. And it's the left-handed model. Oh, no.
Oh.
You got me there. You got me there, Simon. Bonjour, Simon.
Bonjour. Bonjour, mes amis. Hi, guys. It's a pleasure to be back. And there you go.
What
on
is
my
this?
wrist.
Man, this is gorgeous. You sent us a picture, but I gotta say, seeing it in person, this is amazing. And what I didn't understand is that it is the brand new movement, the one that was in the white birch, but now it is beautiful. That's the 44 GSKs, right?
That's the 44 GSKs, and that's the 9SA5 movement. So
9SA5, and it's a gorgeous movement. We can start there for once. Let's start with the back. Title of your sex tape.
there you go.
happening right now?
I love this. Let me zoom in on that gorgeous movement. I mean, they threw everything in it, and the kitchen sink. Beautiful bridges. Do you have some specs, some data about the movement?
Absolutely. So guess how many jewels we have on this movement?
46.
47.
Oh,
Oh,
there you
yeah.
go.
Almost.
See, the sign of quality jewels.
Exactly. So yes, this movement is extremely interesting because well, that's the very latest high beat movement from Grand Seiko, and it's 36,000 VPH.
Holy crap.
Yeah, so it's high beat, and on top of that, as I said, like 47 jewels. So that's quite interesting. As most of you will know, I track everything about my watches, and in my Excel spreadsheet, I do have this column, and this is the watch with the most number of jewels that I own.
He means jewels,
Jewels.
but he's Canadian.
I'm Canadian, yeah, that's my accent, let's say.
Jewels is how we say it in Belgium. No.
But you
But
guys, you
it's
trade
not all
diamonds and stuff like that.
It's not all about the jewels, right? There's also, I guess, long power reserve.
Absolutely, 80 hour power
80
reserve
hours,
on this
man.
one.
So it's high beat. So you have full balance bridge. Man, automatic, of course. It's gorgeous architecture of the movement. That's the one thing I really liked about that movement. When I first saw it in the white birch, I didn't like the watch, and I said in my video, I want that movement once it comes in the right watch. And you found the right watch. I think.
Exactly. So some of you may remember something I like the most
Hold it for you.
about watches or dials. I always pay attention to the dial first and foremost. And it's been a while that I had the snowflakes actually under my radar. That's a watch I always kind of wanted to buy. Obviously, the snowflakes is a spring drive. I'm a tiny bit more interested into fully mechanical watches for some reason.
Don't listen, darling. Don't listen, darling.
No
He doesn't know
disrespect.
what he's talking about.
Yeah, I don't know what I'm talking about. I still love your watch, by the way. But yeah, so, and last year when they came with the white birch, I was so close to snap it. I put it on my wrist. I kind of liked it. At the same time, I was looking like, oh, the bracelet doesn't taper that much. Not that it tapers on this one. You will see it's exactly
Right.
the
It
same.
doesn't taper, but it makes the watch very heavy looking. I mean, it's a beautiful watch, but the bracelet was the first thing that bugged me about it. It didn't suit the beauty of the watch.
And likewise for me,
fine.
if you remember, I think that was last year. Like you went, you tried it, and I think I went like a few days later. I've tried it, and same conclusion as you. At that time I didn't really like the bracelet because I kind of I just bought my my moon watch last year, and the taper is quite extreme. It tapers down to 15 millimeters, and this one the taper is like not so much. So I kind of got used to extreme tapers, but for some reason this year when I saw it on social media, I was like, oh man, I need to try this watch, especially the dial. So they call it the Snowscape. So
Snowscape.
snow, there's the word snow in it, and
It's beautiful. Looks like a bit of a blizzard. So it's more like after the blizzard.
so they say it's like it's supposed to recall the melting snow on one of the mountain nearby the Grand Seiko studio.
Which mountain?
I cannot pronounce, but
Every
you
mountain
speak
snow is
Japanese, my
very
friend, so
different.
maybe you can help me on this one. It's
one?
Iwate?
No, Iwate.
Iwate. Iwate. So,
Mount Iwate, of course, their favorite.
so
Mount
melting
Iwate.
snow on Mount Iwate.
Yeah, it looks wow, so intricate. You can compare with this one, which is the Shunbun. So it's
Extremely beautiful as well.
the cherry blossom fallen on the river. So it's supposed to be pink, but most of the time it's more like gray. But this one has a totally different vibe and really sparkling indices, like everything. I mean, this one here is titanium. This one here is steel, a bit more weight, but the indices same, gorgeous.
Actually, it's not any kinds of
Sparkling.
steel. They call it the ever brilliant stainless steel.
Also
And-
on the indices? Ooh, tricky
Oh.
question.
Oh.
Question.
Oh, busted. I don't know what's the indices made
But
of.
they do reflect the light. Amazing, and they're totally different from the ones here. We'll have to, which have sort of ridges on the top that you can't even see with the naked eye. That's how detailed they are. Here it looks more like they are flat on the top, and then you have bevels all around, like beautiful blocks, and of course sword hands and a blued second hand. Wow, that is mega, and I don't know if it's people would realize yeah, I think it shows well on the video here. We are it's 6:30, 6 o'clock, so the light is going away, but we still have it gives a good impression of how the watch looks in person. It's really an impressive piece.
Yeah.
I hadn't seen it in person.
Depending on the sunlight, sometimes you will see more like hues of blue because this is a light bluish, and sometimes under
Uh-huh.
like less light you will see it more like silverish. So it's a light blue silver, but it's beautiful. And today was quite a sunny day, and
Almost purple if you look in the camera.
you're right.
Really mesmerizing dial. That's why I went back into Grand Seiko. You already have one in your collection, the more classically styled
Yeah,
GMT, which I like a lot.
The SBGM 221, which
This is more what people think of with Grand Seiko, that type of case, a bit more modern, the long, the big flat polished size, 44 GS case. One of the classic, really an impressive piece. But this one is not very thick. That's
it's
what I
not
like
too
about
thick.
it.
Actually, this one is 11.7 millimeter
That's
thick.
brilliant.
That's quite brilliant because
Yeah.
I'm not sure I remember exactly my SBGM 221, but I think it's this tiny bit. No, I think it's pretty much the same size. But you know, for a watch, for me, I think it needs to be anywhere below 12 millimeter, where I feel like
That's a sweet
comfortable.
spot.
Yeah, it's a sweet spot. So you were talking about measurements, so let's go through them. 11.7 millimeter thick, lug to lugs 47.2 millimeter, and then well, the lug width is actually 19 millimeter, but that's pretty much standard for the 44 GS case, as some of you will already know. One other characteristic, so we've already mentioned about the metal, which is basically ever brilliant stainless steel. So apparently this alloy is supposed to be corrosion resistant and more durable than the usual 316H stainless steel. They say up to almost twice as corrosion resistant. So to be seen. And also, if you take a look at maybe the lightning is not that great, but you will see the hue of the metal. It almost shine like a little bit of white gold, so it's not the same kind of
Right.
shine as a typical stainless steel watch. And under the sun, I kid you
True.
not, you see like the reflection. It reminds us of some white gold-ish kind of
Yeah, I
watches.
can attest to that. It has an amazing hue in person. Yeah, quite different from the other stainless steel watches, the classic ones. Yeah, wonderful piece. Really nailed it. So you bought it in Hong Kong, right?
Exactly. So long story short, so as you may remember, the first time I saw it on social media, we have our little WhatsApp group, too many WhatsApp group of watch enthusiasts in Hong Kong, and I kind of send it and share it with you. And I was telling myself I need to see this one in person. And last weekend I was with my wife and my son. We were actually having like a typical free flow champagne brunch in Hong Kong. Like that's the way we enjoy our weekend, I would say. Get distracted, our own entertainment. So yeah, after nailing down maybe too many glasses of champagne, I kind of told my wife, hey, let's just like walk past. There's a Seiko boutique nearby, Chongqing Mansion. Let's just pass.
Oh yeah, the brand new boutique.
Let's go there. Let's see what they have. And I already had in mind this watch. I wasn't sure they will have it in stock. And it's funny, I walk in the boutique, go straight on the back of the boutique where they have like the Grand Seiko display and everything. And I asked the salesperson, like, well, do you have the SLGH013? And it's funny, she looked at me, didn't say a word, went back store, and came back with a box, opened the box in front of me, and there you go, that watch. I say, oh, wow.
And you slammed the Amex on the counter right there.
The MasterCard in that case. Almost within less than 5 minutes, it was a done deal. First and foremost, I asked her, like, okay, how many do you have in stock? And she said, that's the last one we have. And it's almost an exclusivity in Hong Kong. And I can tell you today, I went out nearby for lunch. I went to Times Square and I start asking around. In Times Square on level 3, there's a lot of watches boutiques, and they said no, they don't have it. And even like City Chain here, they didn't have it. So I was, oh wow, okay, so maybe that was true. Maybe that was one of the very last piece available in Hong Kong. Anyway, long story short, when she told me that, I look at my wife. And she said, I like it, I love it. I said, okay. She said, you should treat yourself. All right.
I love your wife. Well, you know that, right?
Don't ask me twice. I swapped the card, and yeah, they give me a little discount on it as well. So always help to make a decision. It's not a cheap watch, huh? At the end of the day. I mean, we're getting used to pay the big price for the Rolex and such, but yeah, some people, they may think, yeah, it's quite expensive for Grand Seiko, but I love
go
Grand Seiko.
home, Simon. That's what I said, and wow, that was the one to get. I agree. When you showed me first, I didn't know what it was. I hadn't realized it was so beautiful in person, and the movement was that new movement, which is I think a huge leap forward for Grand Seiko, especially given that it allows them to have a thinner watch. Really, what people wanted, 12mm or below. That's the sweet spot, and in that case, that everything comes together, which is what I thought about the Shunbun. Everything came together for me in that watch, and I agree. This is another case of Grand Seiko just delivering a perfect watch. And it grabs you, it grabs you, and then you stay because every detail is great, the size is great. While in the past, some Grand Seikos, you buy them because it grabs you with the dial, and then it was a bit too thick, this or that. And now they've listened, they came up with this great movement, and bang, there you go.
I was waiting for the right one, and again, not to repeat myself, the fact that it reminds us of snow, and most people watching the channel will know that actually I'm Canadian, I'm from Quebec, so Canada, especially Quebec, is quite known for the snow landscape during the very too long winter time, I should say, but even though I miss winter these days. So the fact that this reminds me of the texture of snow, it's just an added bonus. It's kind of something I wanted to add.
It's funny, you just got this one, and I just got mine, and I'm a big Japanophile, and well, this one for me, obviously, Cherry Blossom. There's nothing more Japanese than that, and I had to have it. And every time you look at it, it makes you think of the country that you like, right? You like Hong Kong, but you miss the snow. I miss the cherry blossoms in Japan. And Grand Seiko brings us there. It's a bit like the Madeleine of Proust.
Yeah.
The romantics among you who can read a book.
They have a very romanticized description of their dial. This is something I like about
and
Grand
I had
Seiko.
gotten really tired of it.
Yeah.
Especially because the watch were not perfect. and now they come up with these great watches, and I don't care what they say about the dial, whatever they call it, it grabs you. It's amazing. It grabs you and then you stay because everything else has really been done perfectly, except that they still have the same bracelet, which is fine. No, it's fine.
You get used to it. You know, at first that was the call that made it not to buy the white birch, but then when I saw this
the
one,
white birch is different. It has a different bracelet, right? This one is the one I had on my Snowflake, albeit in being this one in a titanium. We're really losing light here, but maybe it's good. We're gonna get some artificial light on this watch, but yeah, this is the classic bracelet, and I guess their focus is elsewhere, right? It's not on changing the bracelet. They put the same on every watch, and you could imagine handling that would perfectly match the 44 GS vibe, a bit more flat, a bit more modern, but at the same time, it's a good bracelet. And I like the simple clasp.
It is extremely comfortable.
Boom.
I was quite surprised. I mean, so far in my collection, the Omega Spin Master, like the latest release from 1 year ago, I really love the bracelet. It's the most comfortable bracelet I have. But this one, I kid you not, I mean,
it's solid.
Very comfortable.
The only thing with it, the problem I had with the Snowflake is that you might find yourself between two semi-links, and sometimes it felt a bit too loose, and then a bit
That's
too...
not the case with... Actually, you should put it on your wrist.
But,
what about we exchange watches now?
Absolutely.
I'll happily take yours for
You're going to be surprised
5 minutes.
by the weight, because you don't know yet the feel of this.
Ooh,
it weighs as much as a cherry blossom. It's 93 grams.
Wow.
Ridiculous, right?
Wow.
But I mean, this one is not that
so
heavy.
light.
It's like 120 maybe. It's not very heavy.
Super light.
Yeah.
You feel you have nothing on the wrist.
That's why I love it in my collection, because it's based on quartz, but spring drive, right? So at least it's super accurate. I mean, this one is still accurate to the second, still right on the dot after 3 weeks of owning it. It's titanium. It's got no bezel. It's a very special case. Great dial and everything. And wow. So my wrist is 17 centimeters, pretty much the same as Simon,
same, right?
although he's been eating a bit more than I have lately. And yeah, that looks good. That looks
Pretty good, huh?
That is looking sweet.
It gives the vibes like in between a sport steel watches and a dress watch. It's like kind of a hybrid because of the bracelet. But if they would change the bracelet, make it taper a little bit more, that would definitively goes more under the dressy side of things.
It's very much like the Datejust of Rolex. You can wear it all the time. It's a great watch at the office that you can keep when you go home and for the weekend. And if we jump in the pool, so the noise you hear here is the noise of the pool. We are on the 28th floor of the Crown Plaza in Hong Kong. There's also a bit of noise from the ventilators and all that. So sorry for the background noise, but I think it's a sweet place to do a video for very special watch. And you know, people think they know Grand Seiko, right? And you know, you can kind of get used to all the releases, and then now they bring that next step of quality, perfect size. It's just you guys, as I said, you gotta find the one that grabs your attention and that keeps it, most importantly. So you just don't want to ever let go of the watch, and I think that's that's a home run.
It is indeed.
Home run.
Yeah. And this week, you know, obviously first day at work, I bought the watch on Sunday, so I had to wear this brand new watch, and I was like so proud. I mean, I was so happy to wear it on my wrist. And then on Tuesday, I wore my Girard-Perregaux Laureato, and for some reason I was really missing my Grand Seiko, and there we are today.
Yeah.
It's Wednesday, and I had to put it back on my wrist, not only because I know we will meet to shoot up a video, but I really wanted to put it back on my wrist.
It's bizarre. I feel the same about this one. They have such a different vibe than everything else that Yeah, and when you don't wear them, you miss them. So
You miss them.
we have here the two special cases of Grand Seiko, the 44 and I think that's the 62 GS. I always forget. Completely different approach, different vibe, different metals, different movements, and yet both super interesting and cool.
That's the thing
Wow.
about watches. If you take like a novice that looks at both of these watches from far, they may
kinda
think
similar,
it's
right?
the same, right? Isn't it? And
Yeah.
then when you go into the details, we're all very much detail oriented, and all of those differences, they just strike you like different metal, different case, different dial. It's quite amazing. Different weight.
Yeah, definitely. Fantastic. Well, that was an amazing discovery. I love it. Great choice.
Thanks.
I'm going to stick to my Shunbun. I've been really enjoying this one. That's definitely a keeper. So different from everything else. Wonderful. Well, Simon, I think all I can say is congrats. Thank you for showing your watch again. Night is falling in Hong Kong. Guys, leave a comment, give Simon a like, subscribe, of course. Most people who will see this are not subscribed, bizarrely. Most people who will see this don't go to the 21st minute of the video either. After you say bonjour, they all leave. They think you're not going to speak English. All right. Thank you, Simon. Anything else? In the end, what does Simon say?
Simon says that this watch is brilliant.
Brilliant.
Of course, it's brilliant, ever brilliant still. So
It would be ever brilliant.
yeah, ever brilliant.
All right, guys.
Awesome.
Bye bye. Au revoir.
Merci.
Merci, Simon.
Au revoir.